Hi again, Gabriela. Now in this video, we will be solving question 6 from the same WebAssign quiz, quiz 13. So again, the idea is we're going to have some rational terms here. It will be greater than or less than, but we need to see 0 on this side. So that's the main thing we need to do. For that, we're going to subtract, or if you will, move these terms to this side. So then we will rewrite this equation, x over 2 minus 4 over x plus 1 minus 3 should be greater than equal to 0. Now, what we do, we know that this guy has a denominator 1, negative 3 we don't get to see yet, so we get them under common denominator. So I'm going to multiply this one with x plus 1, 2, and this one with x plus 1, 2 times x plus 1, I'm sorry. 2 times x plus 1. Right, because we're going to have 2 times x plus 1 on the first term. On the second term, which is negative 4 on the numerator, we have x plus 1 times 2, so we need to see that. Okay, so let's start doing the operation. So x times x plus 1, negative 4 times 2 is negative 8, right? That's it. Negative 3 times 2 will be negative 6 times x plus 1, right? Because I'm multiplying 3 and 2 here, I'm multiplying 4 and 2 there. And then on denominator, we're going to have 2 times x plus 1, and I want everything to be greater than equal to 0. Okay, so first let's deal with the top numerator part. Okay, FOIL out. Let's see what we're going to have. X squared plus x minus 8 minus 6x minus 6 all over 2x plus 2. And we want that again to be greater than equal to 0. So let's simplify the terms. X squared, I have x and negative 6x, which will be negative 5x minus 14 all over 2x plus 2. All right. So this is a pretty clean form. Now what we're going to do, we're going to deal with sign chart here. Okay. So first we're going to take the numerator and factor it. So the factors will be x, negative 7, 2, so that is multiply negative 14, cross multiply and add negative 5, so we can write it as x minus 7 and x plus 2, right? And that's one. The other thing, 2x plus 2, right? Oh, no, we don't need to deal with that. No, that's all. So let's write the terms. So top, we have this. At the bottom, I can write it as 2 times x plus 1. At the first place, I shouldn't be distributing that. So I want these terms to be greater than 0. So I'm going to go ahead and find the zeros of those terms, right? So x minus 7, 0, I have a root 7. X plus 2 equals 0, I have a root negative 2. X plus 1 equals 0, I have a root negative 1. So now I'm going to place them on a sign chart in number line order. I mean, it means that it should be an increasing order. So I need to be starting first negative 2. So negative 2, negative 1, and 7 will be the elements. So negative 2 is a root for x plus 2. Okay, negative 1 is a root for x plus 1. Okay. And 7 is a root for x minus 7. Okay. So The reason I put those holes or zeros, if you want, it is just a placeholder for me. So I know that 2 is a root for x plus 2. So I'm just interested in for each root's left and right hand box, left and right hand box, left and right hand box. So for x plus 2, numbers greater than -2 will be the same of its leading coefficients with it, which is positive. And the other side of the box, whatever I put here is positive or negative, will be the opposite of I put there. So that will be negative. So the same thing for -1 is a root for x plus 1. Right hand side of -1 will be the same as the leading coefficient sign, which is positive. Because it is positive, the other side will be negative. It will continue as negative, continues positive. Same thing for here. Now, I am doing a 3-term operation here. I'm multiplying 2 terms and dividing it, and I want that operation should be greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so I will be doing those things here by looking at the sign chart. So 3 negatives will be negative. That will give me positive. That will give me negative. That will give me positive. So what do I want? I want the terms operation will be positive here and positive there. What does that mean? So x could be, I'm reading this corridor here now. Greater than equal to -2, less than equal to -1, union x should be greater than equal to 7. All right, so if I want to, I'm going to write it in interval form. However, I need to be careful one thing. Because I have x plus 1 on the denominator, right, it should not be equal to 0, then x cannot be equal to -1. So I need to get rid of that little sign. So I'm going to revise it as like that. Okay. So again, this part is important, revision. So first of all, why are we putting this little equal signs? Because the equation is like that. We want it greater than or equal to 0. That's why we need to include that little signs underneath our inequalities. However, we revise the -1 because x cannot be equal to -1 domain restriction. Now we want to put it in an interval form. We write it this way. All right. Hope it helps. The third one is coming also. Hang in there. But this is a long, difficult and important question. You might see something like that in final, but we did not focus it on test 4. Okay, something like that. There was a very simpler, much more simple version of it. Okay, see you soon. Bye.